Echoes of antiquity, Greeks on Egyptian soil. Two great civilizations met by the Nile. Merchants, soldiers and scholars crossed the sea. Egypt's powerful allure was strong for the Greeks. Their enduring presence left indelible marks. From the earliest days, Greek adventurers and traders arrived on Egyptian shores, drawn by the promise of wealth and wonder. They mingled with pharaohs and priests, leaving behind stories etched in stone and papyrus. As centuries passed, the Greeks became more than visitors. They became part of Egypt's living tapestry. Alexandria rose as a beacon of Hellenistic culture, where knowledge flourished and worlds converged. Through conquest, commerce and curiosity, the Greeks shaped Egypt, and were shaped by it in return. Their odyssey on Egyptian soil would echo through the ages, from antiquity to the Ottoman era, weaving a legacy of connection and transformation. The arrival of Greeks in Egypt was not a single event. They came as adventurous traders and skilled soldiers. The 7th century BC marked a more formal beginning. Psammeticus used Greek mercenaries to secure power. Greek merchants established trading posts. Enterprising merchants from cities like Miletus brought goods. Soldiers of fortune offered their services. Their courage laid the groundwork for larger communities. Life for the early Greek settlers in Egypt was a unique blend. They maintained their Hellenic identity. Temples were built to Apollo, Hera and Aphrodite. They formed close-knit communities for mutual support. Interaction with the local Egyptian population was inevitable. Some degree of cultural blending took place. Greek mercenaries played a visible role. Their presence often contributed to political stability. The great Macedonian king, Alexander, turned his gaze towards Egypt, a land of ancient wonders and enduring mysteries. In 332 BCE, he crossed the desert and approached the Nile, his army formidable and his ambitions grand. The Persian satrap Mazatzes offered little resistance, surrendering the city without a fight. The Egyptian people, weary of Persian rule, welcomed Alexander as a liberator. He showed deep respect for their ancient religion and customs, visiting temples and making offerings to the gods. Alexander was even declared the son of Amun at the oracle of Siwa, cementing his legitimacy in the eyes of the Egyptians. His arrival marked a pivotal moment in Egypt's history, as Greek and Egyptian cultures began to intertwine. New cities like Alexandria would rise, blending Hellenistic and Egyptian traditions in art, architecture and daily life. This era set the stage for centuries of cultural fusion, forever changing the course of Egypt's destiny. Alexandria, founded by Alexander, grew rapidly. It became one of the most important cities of the ancient world. Its population was remarkably diverse. The great library drew scholars from far and wide. The library played a crucial role in preserving ancient texts. Alexandria became an unparalleled centre for scholarship and learning. The final years of the Ptolemaic dynasty were marked by turmoil. Cleopatra fought to keep Egypt free. The Battle of Actium sealed Egypt's fate. Octavian defeated Antony and Cleopatra. Cleopatra chose death over Roman subjugation. Egypt became a Roman province, marking a monumental turning point. Alexandria continued to thrive under Roman governance. The great library still drew scholars. Roman prefects established their residences in Alexandria. Greeks played a vital role in Roman administration. Greek remained the primary language for local government. The Romans valued the efficiency of the existing systems. A new chapter unfolded with the formal division of the Roman Empire. This occurred in the year 395 AD, splitting the empire into west and east. Egypt became a crucial province of the Eastern Roman Empire. This eastern realm is more commonly known to historians as the Byzantine Empire. Its magnificent capital city was Constantinople, the new Rome on the Bosphorus. Egypt continued to hold immense importance for its Byzantine rulers. It reliably supplied essential grain to Constantinople and considerable tax revenues. The established administrative structures largely remained in place for some time. However, they gradually acquired a more distinctly Byzantine character over centuries. This transition marked another long and significant era for Greeks in Egypt. The Byzantine period witnessed the profound and widespread Christianization of Egypt. The ancient land of pharaohs slowly embraced the new faith. Alexandria solidified its position as one of the foremost centers of Christian theology. It was home to many influential patriarchs, monks, and religious thinkers. Figures such as Athanasius the Great and Cyril of Alexandria shaped Christian doctrine. Their theological writings and leadership had impacts far beyond Egypt's borders. The city's great intellectual heritage was now increasingly channeled into religious discourse. Grand churches and numerous monasteries were established throughout the Nile Valley. The ancient pagan temples were gradually closed, abandoned, or repurposed. The religious landscape of Egypt was being fundamentally and irrevocably transformed. The winds of change swept across Egypt in the 7th century AD. Armies carrying the banner of Islam arrived from the Arabian Peninsula. Byzantine rule began to crumble. The conquest, led by Amr ibn al-As, was swift. Many Egyptians were weary of Byzantine control. They faced heavy taxation and religious persecution. The arrival of the Arabs marked a profound shift. A new political and religious order was established. The Fatimid Caliphate conquered Egypt in 969 AD, establishing a Shia Islamic dynasty. They founded Cairo, leading to prosperity and cultural vibrancy. Greeks in Alexandria thrived, maintaining trade and cultural ties. Greek merchants played a key role in Mediterranean commerce. The Fatimids were relatively tolerant towards non-Muslims, including Greeks. Greek intellectual heritage influenced Islamic learning during this period. The Mamluk Sultanate rose to power in Egypt in 1250 AD. The Mamluks were a unique military caste, originally slave soldiers of Turkic and Circassian origin. They established a powerful and long-lasting dynasty that ruled Egypt and Syria. Their reign was characterized by impressive military achievements and monumental architecture. However, it was also a period of frequent internal power struggles. The environment for non-Muslim communities under the Mamluks could be variable. At times they enjoyed relative peace and protection, adhering to dhimmi regulations. At other times they faced stricter enforcement of discriminatory laws or persecution. This often depended on the disposition of the ruling sultan or political pressures. The Greek communities had to adapt to these fluctuating conditions. Despite the challenges, Greek communities in Egypt demonstrated remarkable resilience. Their numbers may have fluctuated, but their presence endured. A key institution for the Greeks was the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate of Alexandria. This ancient religious body continued to function throughout the Mamluk period. It provided spiritual leadership and a focal point for Greek Orthodox identity. Monasteries, such as the famous St. Catherine's Monastery in Sinai, though under Mamluk protection, not directly in Egypt proper, preserved Greek traditions. Within their communities, Greeks strove to maintain their language, customs, and faith. This sense of continuity was vital for their survival as a distinct group. They passed down their heritage through generations, often in challenging circumstances. In 1517, the Ottoman Sultan Selim I decisively conquered Egypt. This momentous event brought an end to the Mamluk Sultanate. Egypt was incorporated into the vast and powerful Ottoman Empire. This new imperial structure would govern the land for the next 4 centuries. For the Greek communities in Egypt, the arrival of the Ottomans heralded a new chapter. The Ottomans, having conquered Constantinople in 1453, already ruled over many Greeks. The Greek Orthodox Patriarch of Constantinople held a significant position within the Ottoman system. This existing framework influenced how Greeks in Egypt were administered. Initially, the transition brought changes to the ruling elite and administrative hierarchies. One remarkable aspect of the Ottoman era was the rise of individuals of Greek ancestry. Many rose to positions of significant power and influence within the Ottoman state. Some of these individuals came through the devşirme system. This was the practice of levying boys from Christian families in the Balkans. These boys were converted to Islam and educated to serve the Sultan. Others, particularly the Phanariot Greeks from Constantinople, gained prominence. They excelled as diplomats, administrators, and provincial governors. Their linguistic skills, education, and commercial acumen were highly valued. This phenomenon meant that Greek influence could be felt at the highest levels. It extended throughout the diverse provinces of the sprawling Ottoman Empire. The long and captivating odyssey of Greeks in Egypt has unfolded before us. It is a narrative stretching across millennia, a testament to enduring human connection. From the earliest intrepid traders and curious philosophers who sought Egyptian shores, to the mighty Ptolemaic kings who ruled as pharaohs, blending Greek and Egyptian ways. Their presence was a constant thread woven into the rich fabric of Egyptian history. They adapted and persevered through the Roman, Byzantine, Islamic, and Ottoman eras. Each period presented new challenges and unique opportunities for interaction. The story is not merely of conquest or settlement, but of deep mutual influence. This interaction shaped the destiny of both great civilizations in profound ways. The Nile witnessed a remarkable and sustained encounter between 2 powerful cultures. The cultural imprint of Hellenism upon the land of Egypt was truly significant. Alexandria, the city born of Alexander's vision, stands as its most radiant symbol. Its legendary library and museum became beacons of knowledge for the ancient world. They attracted scholars and thinkers, preserving and expanding human understanding. Greek language, art, philosophy, and administrative practices spread throughout the region. These elements became deeply embedded, particularly in urban centers and governmental structures. Even as empires rose and fell, this Hellenistic legacy continued to resonate powerfully. It formed a crucial layer in Egypt's complex and multifaceted cultural identity. The intellectual achievements of this era have echoed down through the centuries. Egypt became a vital crucible where Greek thought met ancient African wisdom. Conversely, the ancient land of Egypt profoundly shaped the Greeks themselves. Living amidst the monumental grandeur and deep-rooted traditions of the Nile Valley was transformative. Greek settlers, soldiers and rulers were inevitably influenced by their surroundings. They encountered religious practices and artistic motifs unlike their own. This led to fascinating instances of cultural syncretism, a blending of beliefs and styles. The creation of deities like Serapis, revered by both Greeks and Egyptians, is a prime example. Egyptian themes appeared in Greek art, and Greek architects designed within Egyptian landscapes. The experience of governing such a vast and ancient land also altered Greek perspectives. It broadened their worldview and contributed to the cosmopolitan nature of Hellenistic culture. This reciprocal exchange enriched both societies in countless, often subtle ways. The historical foundations laid by Greeks in antiquity were strong. These foundations allowed for a notable resurgence of Greek communities in Egypt. This was particularly evident in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Greek entrepreneurs, merchants and intellectuals played a significant role. They contributed greatly to the economic and cultural development of modern Egypt. Cities like Alexandria and Cairo saw flourishing Hellenic communities. Their impact on commerce, industry and the arts was substantial. This demonstrates the enduring nature of the Greco-Egyptian connection over time. Their long journey through Egyptian history has left a legacy that continues to resonate. It serves as a reminder of the intricate and fascinating ways cultures can meet and merge. The echoes of their presence are still discernible by the timeless flow of the Nile. Abydos. The very name evokes a sense of mystery and ancient power, a place where history and myth intertwine. Located on the west bank of the Nile in Upper Egypt, Abydos is one of the oldest and most important archaeological sites in all of Egypt, a cradle of civilization. For millennia, Abydos has been a place of pilgrimage, a sacred ground where ancient Egyptians came to honor their gods and seek a connection to the afterlife. Abydos was more than just a city. It was a symbol of the eternal cycle of life, death and resurrection, a testament to the beliefs of an ancient people. Even today, standing among the ruins of its temples and tombs, one can feel the weight of history and the echoes of a civilization long gone, yet still present in spirit. For it was here, in the sands of Abydos, that the story of ancient Egypt began to unfold, a story that continues to captivate the world. Here, pharaohs were laid to rest, their tombs filled with treasures and offerings for the afterlife, ensuring their journey to eternity. And it was here that the cult of Osiris, god of the underworld and rebirth, took root and flourished, shaping the spiritual landscape of ancient Egypt. Abydos was never truly abandoned, its spiritual significance enduring through the ages. Even after its political and economic power waned, it remained a sacred site, a place where pilgrims continued to come to pay homage to Osiris and pray for his blessings, a tradition that persists to this day. Over the centuries, the sands of the desert slowly encroached upon the city, burying its temples and tombs beneath their protective embrace, preserving them for future generations. But the legacy of Abydos lived on, preserved in the myths and legends passed down through generations of Egyptians, a testament to its enduring influence. It was not until the 19th century that archaeologists began to excavate the ruins of Abydos, uncovering its secrets and revealing the splendor of this once great city, a city that had been lost to time. Today, Abydos is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, its temples and tombs a testament to the ingenuity, artistry and enduring beliefs of the ancient Egyptians, a legacy that continues to inspire awe and wonder. Abydos first rose to prominence in the pre-dynastic period around 3100 BC, when Egypt was in its infancy, a time when the foundations of one of the world's greatest civilizations were being laid. It was during this time that the first pharaohs, rulers who united Upper and Lower Egypt under their rule, chose Abydos as their final resting place, marking it as a site of immense importance. They constructed elaborate tombs known as mastabas, which were rectangular structures with flat roofs and sloping sides, built of mud brick and often decorated with colourful paintings and intricate reliefs. These early tombs were not just places of burial, but also symbols of power and authority, reflecting the pharaoh's divine status. They were filled with grave goods, including pottery, jewellery, weapons and even boats, intended to accompany the deceased into the afterlife, ensuring they had everything they needed for their journey. The tombs at Abydos provide us with invaluable insights into the beliefs, rituals and social structures of these early Egyptians, offering a window into their world. One of the most significant discoveries at Abydos was the tomb of King Jer, one of the earliest pharaohs of the First Dynasty, whose reign marked a pivotal moment in Egyptian history. Jer's tomb was a large and impressive structure surrounded by subsidiary graves for his family and retainers, indicating his high status and the reverence in which he was held. Inside the tomb, archaeologists discovered fragments of Jer's funerary equipment, including a fragment of his arm, which had been ripped off and placed in a separate box, a practice that remains a mystery. The presence of such elaborate tombs at Abydos suggests that the city was already a place of great religious significance in the pre-dynastic period, long before the rise of the pharaohs. It was believed to be the burial place of Webwawet, the jackal god of the dead, who was closely associated with the king and the afterlife, guiding the souls of the deceased. The association with Webwawet, combined with the presence of royal tombs, made Abydos a powerful symbol of death and resurrection, a place where the pharaohs could transition to the afterlife and join the company of the gods, ensuring their eternal life and divine status. As Egypt entered the early dynastic period, around 3000 to 2686 BC, Abydos continued to flourish as a necropolis and a centre of religious activity. However, it was during this time that a new cult began to emerge in Abydos, one that would eventually overshadow all others, the cult of Osiris. The origins of Osiris are shrouded in mystery, but he is typically depicted as a mummified king, often with green skin symbolizing rebirth, wearing the Atef crown and holding the crook and flail, symbols of kingship and fertility. According to Egyptian mythology, Osiris was a benevolent king who ruled Egypt with his wife Isis. He taught the Egyptians agriculture, law and civilization, but was murdered by his jealous brother, Set. Osiris's death and resurrection became a central myth in Egyptian religion, symbolizing the cycle of life, death and rebirth. His story resonated deeply with the Egyptians, who saw in Osiris a promise of eternal life after death. As the cult of Osiris spread throughout Egypt, Abydos became one of the most important pilgrimage sites in the country, attracting countless devotees. Egyptians from all walks of life flocked to Abydos, hoping to be buried near the god Osiris, or at least to have their names inscribed on stelae or other monuments erected in the sacred precinct. They believed that proximity to Osiris would increase their chances of a favourable judgment in the afterlife. Pilgrims would offer prayers, sacrifices and votive offerings to Osiris, hoping to gain his favour and ensure their resurrection. The pilgrimage to Abydos was a journey of faith, a chance to connect with the divine and seek solace in the face of death. The spiritual atmosphere of Abydos provided comfort to many. The influx of pilgrims to Abydos had a profound impact on the city. Temples and shrines were built to accommodate the growing number of worshippers. Cenotaphs, symbolic tombs that did not contain the body of the deceased, were constructed by wealthy Egyptians who could not afford to be buried at Abydos but wanted to be symbolically linked to the god. Abydos became a bustling centre of religious activity, its streets thronged with priests, pilgrims and merchants. The pilgrimage to Abydos was more than just a religious duty. It was also an opportunity for social and economic exchange. People from different parts of Egypt would converge on Abydos, bringing with them their customs, beliefs and goods. The city became a melting pot of Egyptian culture, a place where ideas were shared and traditions were transmitted, enriching the cultural tapestry of Egypt. In ancient Egypt, the concept of eternity was not just a distant dream, but a tangible reality. The Egyptians built their homes, not just for the living, but also for the afterlife. They believed that the soul would continue to live on, needing a place to reside. Tombs were constructed with meticulous care, designed to last forever. These structures were more than just resting places. They were eternal homes for the departed. The walls were adorned with scenes of daily life, ensuring that the deceased could continue their existence in the afterlife. The belief in an eternal house was deeply rooted in their culture. Every detail, from the architecture to the inscriptions, was meant to provide comfort and security for the soul's journey beyond death. This profound connection between life and death, between the temporal and the eternal, is what made ancient Egyptian civilization so unique and enduring. Their houses for eternity stand as a testament to their unwavering faith in the afterlife. The stones of Abydos tell a story that spans millennia. Each carving, each inscription is a testament to the lives and beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. It's fascinating to think about how these stones have witnessed the ebb and flow of history, standing silent yet eloquent in their endurance. At Abydos, the gods were honored with grand temples and intricate rituals. The ancient Egyptians believed that Abydos was the gateway to the afterlife, a sacred place where they could connect with the divine. The devotion and reverence shown here reflect a deep spiritual connection that transcended daily life. Beyond the famous temples, Abydos is home to numerous other monuments that add to its rich tapestry. From lesser-known chapels to ancient tombs, each structure contributes to the overall significance of this sacred city. These monuments, though perhaps not as renowned, are equally important in understanding the full scope of Abydos's historical and cultural landscape. The legacy of Abydos is not just in its ancient stones, but in the wealth of knowledge it has provided to modern archaeology. Each discovery here has helped piece together the complex puzzle of Egypt's past. The significance of Abydos continues to grow as new findings shed light on the lives and beliefs of those who once walked these grounds. In many ways, the story of Abydos is still being written, one artifact at a time. The land of Punt was a mysterious and fabled place. It held great importance for the ancient Egyptians. Punt was renowned for its abundant riches and exotic goods. Our primary knowledge of this distant land comes from ancient Egyptian sources. These records describe Punt as a source of valuable materials. Egyptians revered Punt and actively sought trade with its people. The precise nature of Punt itself, beyond its valuable resources, remains somewhat elusive to modern historians. Nevertheless, Egyptians wrote about this special land for many centuries, indicating its enduring significance in their worldview and economy. References to Punt span a remarkably long period in Egyptian history. They appear from the Old Kingdom around 2500 BCE right through to the late period, after 700 BCE. This long history demonstrates a sustained and significant relationship between Egypt and Punt. The earliest accounts of Punt are somewhat general. However, later records, particularly from the New Kingdom, become much more detailed and illustrative. This extended period of interaction highlights Punt's consistent importance to the Egyptian state. Punt held a position of immense importance in ancient Egypt's network of trade. This was primarily because Punt supplied a variety of valuable goods that Egypt could not easily produce domestically. Many of these items were essential for important religious rituals. They also served as potent symbols of wealth, status, and royal power. Punt was perceived by the Egyptians as a distant land of plenty, almost legendary in its richness. Its diverse resources were highly coveted by the Egyptian elite, especially the pharaohs and high officials. The rulers of Egypt took considerable pride in their ability to acquire these exotic items from such a remote location. Beyond the acquisition of physical goods, successful trade with punt brought considerable prestige to Egypt. It served as a clear demonstration of the pharaoh's power, influence, and divine backing. Gold was one of the most precious commodities that Egypt sought from the land of Punt. In ancient Egyptian culture, gold held profound symbolic meaning. It was considered to be the very flesh of the gods. Gold symbolized eternity, indestructibility, and divine power. Punt was recognized as one of the important sources for this highly prized metal. Egyptian goldsmiths were exceptionally skilled artisans. They transformed raw gold into stunning jewelry, intricate death masks for pharaohs, and sacred cult objects for temples. The regular influx of gold from Punt would have significantly supported these elaborate crafts. It also substantially added to the royal treasury, bolstering the economic power of the Egyptian state. The uses of gold in ancient Egypt were widespread and deeply integrated into expressions of power and piety. Royal tombs, such as the famous tomb of Tutankhamun, were lavishly filled with golden artifacts. These items were intended to accompany the deceased pharaoh into the afterlife. Temples dedicated to the gods were often adorned with gold leaf and electrum. Egypt, dominated by desert and the Nile Valley, had few native sources of high-quality timber. Fine woods like ebony were highly prized imports from Punt. Artisans crafted luxurious furniture and intricate inlays from ebony. Ivory sourced from elephant tusks was another sought-after material. Talented artisans carved ivory into beautiful designs. One of the most enduring mysteries surrounding the land of Punt is its exact geographical location. Despite numerous Egyptian texts and depictions referencing Punt, its precise whereabouts remain unknown to this day. This question has been the subject of intense scholarly debate for well over a century. The ancient Egyptian records provide many valuable clues, such as lists of trade goods and depictions of the Puntites and their environment. However, these records do not include any precise maps or geographical coordinates as we understand them. This uncertainty significantly adds to Punt's mystique and allure. Discovering the definitive location of Punt would represent a major archaeological breakthrough. The ongoing search continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists worldwide. Many scholars currently favour a location for Punt in the Horn of Africa. This broad region includes parts of modern-day Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, and the eastern highlands of Ethiopia. The types of goods consistently exported from Punt, as listed in Egyptian records, strongly support this theory. Scholars have explored links between Punt and biblical lands like Ophir. Ophir is described in the Bible as a source of immense wealth. King Solomon received gold and precious items from Ophir. The exact location of Ophir remains debated among scholars. This makes any direct link between Punt and Ophir speculative. The ancient Egyptians primarily travelled to the land of Punt by sea. Most expeditions involved carefully planned maritime voyages. Ships would depart from Egyptian ports on the Red Sea coast and sail southwards. This was a challenging and often perilous journey for ancient mariners. They needed robust, seaworthy ships and highly skilled sailors who understood the winds and currents of the Red Sea. The Egyptians developed important Red Sea ports, such as Wadi el-Jarf in the Old Kingdom and later Mersa Gawasis during the Middle Kingdom. These ports served as crucial departure and arrival points for the Punt expeditions. Depending on Punt's precise location and the specific route taken, some overland travel might also have been involved at the final stages of the journey. The logistics and challenges of these expeditions to Punt were considerable. Queen Hatshepsut's expedition to the land of Punt stands as one of the most famous and well-documented trading ventures in ancient history. This remarkable voyage took place around the year 1493 BCE during the prosperous 18th dynasty of Egypt's new kingdom. Hatshepsut was one of ancient Egypt's most powerful and successful female pharaohs. The expedition to Punt was a major highlight and significant achievement of her long and influential reign. She ensured that this grand undertaking was commemorated in extraordinary detail. These detailed records have provided invaluable information for historians studying ancient trade, shipbuilding, and international relations. Her motivations for launching such an ambitious expedition were likely a combination of economic, religious, and political factors. The most detailed account of Hatshepsut's Punt expedition is found at her magnificent mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri, located on the west bank of the Nile at Thebes. The walls of this temple are adorned with extensive and beautifully carved reliefs, accompanied by hieroglyphic inscriptions. The ancient Egyptians often referred to the land of Punt by a special and evocative name, Tanetja. This ancient Egyptian phrase is generally translated as land of the god or God's land. This particular designation strongly suggests that Punt held a profound and special religious significance for the Egyptians. It was clearly perceived as much more than just a source of material wealth and exotic commodities. Punt was viewed as a sacred, pure, and perhaps even primordial place. This elevated Punt above the status of ordinary foreign lands in the Egyptian worldview. It imbued the distant land with a distinct mystical quality and a sense of divine connection. This name itself reflects the deep reverence they held for Punt. There are several reasons why the Egyptians may have called Punt Tanetja. Punt's influence extended far beyond trade, permeating Egyptian art and religion. It was depicted as a land of abundance and beauty. Wall carvings showcased Punt's rich resources and exotic allure. Art celebrated Punt as a utopian paradise. Religiously, Punt was God's land, a sacred place. Expeditions to Punt were sacred pilgrimages. Queen Hatshepsut's journey exemplified its significance. Her expedition was documented in Deir el-Bahari. The return brought goods and tales of divine favour. Punt's legacy echoes through Egyptian mythology and identity. Despite Punt's prominent role in ancient Egyptian society, its exact location remains one of history's enduring mysteries. Scholars and historians have long debated where this enigmatic land might have been situated. Various theories suggest locations ranging from the Horn of Africa to the Arabian Peninsula. Recent archaeological findings and modern research have provided new insights into this ancient puzzle. Discoveries of ancient Egyptian inscriptions and depictions of Puntite flora and fauna have pointed to regions along the Red Sea coast. Some scholars argue that Punt could be located in present-day Eritrea or Somalia. Analysis of ancient resin samples found in Egyptian tombs supports this theory. These resins match the botanical characteristics of trees native to the Horn of Africa. This has led many to support the theory that Punt was indeed located in this region. Recent underwater archaeological missions have uncovered remnants of ancient shipwrecks along the Red Sea. These findings suggest established maritime routes between Egypt and the Puntite lands. The debate, however, is far from settled. Some historians propose that Punt could have been a network of trade hubs rather than a single location. This theory aligns with the diverse array of products sourced from Punt, including gold, incense, ebony, and exotic animals. Each discovery brings us closer to understanding the true nature of this ancient land. The quest to pinpoint Punt's location is a testament to the enduring fascination and curiosity that this legendary land inspires in modern scholars and historians. The search for Punt is not just about finding a place on the map, it is about connecting the dots of history and piecing together the legacy of a civilization that once thrived on the exchanges between these distant lands. The story of Punt, much like the land itself, continues to captivate and intrigue, reminding us of the rich tapestry of human history waiting to be explored. The Nile, a river that flows north, bringing life to a desert. For thousands of years it shaped Egypt, its floods both awe-inspiring and essential. From fertile delta to arid desert, the Nile is a lifeline. The Nile's bounty allowed for the development of one of the world's first civilizations. Ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs, pyramids, and powerful gods, emerged from the fertile banks of this mighty river. The Nile's waters provided sustenance, its floods brought fertility, and its navigable waters facilitated trade and communication. This allowed for the growth of cities, the development of complex social structures, and the flourishing of art, science, and religion. The ancient Egyptians lived in harmony with the river's rhythm, adapting their lives to its ebb and flow. Their calendar, their agriculture, and even their beliefs were intertwined with the Nile's cycles. It was more than just a river. It was the very foundation of their existence. To the ancient Egyptians, the Nile was not merely a river, it was a divine entity, a god whose benevolence sustained their very existence. They called him Hapi, the god of the annual flood, depicted as a benevolent figure with a large belly and pendulous breasts, symbolizing fertility and abundance. Temples were erected in his honor, and elaborate rituals were performed to appease him and ensure the timely arrival of the annual flood. Offerings of food, flowers, and precious metals were made, and hymns were sung praising his life-giving waters. The pharaoh, considered the divine ruler and intermediary between the gods and the people, played a crucial role in these rituals. His connection to the divine was believed to influence the Nile's favor, ensuring the prosperity of the land and its people. The Nile's annual flood cycle dictated life in ancient Egypt. It marked the start of the agricultural year. Egyptians created a calendar based on its 3 seasons. Akhet, the inundation season, was a time of celebration. The Nile's silt renewed the land's vitality. Pereh, the growing season, followed. Shemu, the harvest season, marked abundance and gratitude. The cultural significance of the Nile is deeply etched into the very fabric of ancient Egyptian civilization. It is evident in their art, their architecture, and their beliefs. Tomb paintings depict scenes of life along the riverbanks, showcasing the abundance it brought. Monumental architecture, such as the pyramids and temples, were often aligned with the Nile's flow, further emphasizing its centrality in their worldview. The orientation of these structures suggests a deep reverence for the river's journey from south to north, mirroring the sun's path across the sky. The Nile's influence extended even to the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that the soul, after death, journeyed westward across the Nile, mirroring the sun's journey into the underworld. This belief is reflected in the layout of tombs and the placement of funerary goods. The ancient Egyptians wove intricate myths to explain the Nile's floods. One such myth tells of Isis and her beloved Osiris. Osiris, murdered by his brother Set, was dismembered. Isis searched tirelessly for his remains. Her tears overflowed the Nile, causing the annual flood. Each year her tears replenished the land, bringing life to Egypt. Another legend tells of Sekhmet, the fierce lion goddess of war and healing, and her role in the Nile's floods. According to the myth, Sekhmet, enraged by the disrespect shown to her father, the sun god Ra, unleashed her fiery wrath upon humanity. Her fury was so intense that she scorched the earth, turning the Nile blood red. Fearing for the annihilation of humankind, Ra intervened, tricking Sekhmet into drinking a vast quantity of beer mixed with red ochre, resembling blood. Intoxicated, Sekhmet's rage subsided and she transformed into Hathor, the benevolent goddess of love and music. The red-tinged beer, symbolizing the floodwaters, flowed from her, replenishing the Nile and saving humanity from her wrath. The Nile's significance transcended the earthly realm, playing a crucial role in the Egyptian afterlife beliefs. They believed that the Nile flowed through the underworld, the Duat, providing sustenance to the souls residing there. The deceased, embarking on their perilous journey through the underworld, relied on the Nile's waters for sustenance and guidance. Funerary texts, such as the Book of the Dead, contain spells and hymns meant to ensure safe passage across the celestial Nile. The Nile, in this context, represented not only physical sustenance but also spiritual renewal and rebirth. Just as it brought life to the land of Egypt, it also nourished the souls in the afterlife, ensuring their continued existence in the realm beyond death. The lifeblood of ancient Egypt, the Nile's annual flood, was a spectacle as predictable as the rising sun. Every year, like clockwork, the river would swell, engulfing its banks and transforming the arid landscape into a fertile expanse of water. This inundation, far from being feared, was eagerly anticipated. The ancient Egyptians, with their keen sense of observation, had developed a deep understanding of the river's rhythm. They knew that the flood, though appearing destructive, was the source of their prosperity. The floodwaters, originating from the heavy rains in the Ethiopian highlands, would arrive in Egypt around June, reaching their peak in September. As the waters receded, they left behind a rich deposit of silt, a fertile layer of sediment that acted as a natural fertilizer. The ancient Egyptians recognized the source of their bounty, referring to the southern lands as Taseti, meaning the land of the bow. They understood that the floods were a gift from these distant lands. Expeditions were sent south to explore the river's origins, seeking to understand the forces that governed its flow. These journeys, though fraught with peril, provided valuable knowledge about the Nile's tributaries and the annual rainfall patterns that dictated the flood's intensity. The Egyptians developed sophisticated systems to measure the Nile's rise and fall, constructing nilometers, graduated stone structures placed within the river or nearby wells. These structures allowed them to predict the height of the flood and anticipate the year's harvest. The Nile's annual flood cycle, predictable and life-giving, shaped the rhythm of life in ancient Egypt. It dictated the agricultural calendar, the construction projects, and even the religious festivals. During the inundation, when the fields were submerged, farmers would engage in other activities, like repairing their tools, tending to their livestock, or working on construction projects for the pharaoh. The flood season provided a period of relative respite from the demanding work of agriculture. As the floodwaters receded, the land, rejuvenated by the rich silt deposits, was ready for planting. Farmers would sow their crops, anticipating a bountiful harvest in the months to come. The success of their harvest depended on the Nile's generosity, a testament to their symbiotic relationship with the river. The lifeblood of ancient Egypt's agriculture was not just the Nile's water, but the rich, fertile silt it deposited with each annual flood. This black, nutrient-rich sediment, carried from the highlands of Ethiopia, held the key to the civilization's agricultural success. Unlike the alluvial soils of other river valleys, which often required years of cultivation to become fertile, the Nile's silt was immediately productive. As the floodwaters receded, they left behind a layer of this fertile sediment, ready to nourish a variety of crops. The Egyptians recognized the silt's importance, referring to it as Kemet, which means black land, a testament to its fertility and their connection to it. This black soil stood in stark contrast to the Deshret, the red land of the surrounding desert, highlighting its life-giving properties. To maximize the benefits of the Nile's annual inundation, the ancient Egyptians developed an ingenious system of basin irrigation. This method involved dividing the land into a series of rectangular basins, surrounded by earthen dikes, to capture and hold the floodwaters. As the Nile rose, water would be channeled into these basins through a network of canals, carefully controlled to ensure even distribution. The floodwaters, laden with silt, would be allowed to sit in these basins for several weeks, saturating the soil and depositing their fertile load. Once the floodwaters receded, the basins, now filled with moist, fertile soil, were ready for planting. Farmers would sow a variety of crops, including barley, wheat, flax, and vegetables, taking advantage of the naturally irrigated and fertilized land. Egyptians developed perennial irrigation for year-round cultivation. This allowed them to grow crops even during the dry season. The shaduf, a lever system, was commonly used to lift water. Canals and ditches channeled water from the Nile to fields. These ingenious irrigation techniques, coupled with the fertile Nile silt, allowed the ancient Egyptians to cultivate a diverse range of crops, sustaining a large population and contributing to the civilization's prosperity. The staple crops of ancient Egypt were barley and wheat, used to make bread, beer and porridge. Flax, another important crop, was used to produce linen, a valuable textile for clothing and other purposes. Vegetables such as onions, garlic, lentils and lettuce added variety to their diet. The Egyptians also cultivated a variety of fruits, including grapes, figs, dates and pomegranates, which provided essential vitamins and sweetness. These fruits, often depicted in tomb paintings and offerings to the gods, were highly valued and considered symbols of abundance and prosperity. The Nile, once a force of nature, entered a new era in the 20th century, the age of dams. The Aswan High Dam, completed in 1970, altered the river's natural flood cycle. It brought significant changes, including irrigation, hydroelectric power and flood control. However, the dam's construction came at a cost. The silt now trapped no longer replenished farmlands downstream. The end of the natural flood cycle brought about a new set of challenges. The once fertile soils, deprived of the annual silt deposits, became increasingly saline and less productive over time. The absence of the flood's natural flushing action led to the build-up of salts in the soil, impacting crop yields. The construction of the Aswan High Dam, while providing undeniable benefits, also had ecological consequences. The Nile Delta, once a vibrant ecosystem nourished by the annual influx of nutrients, began to erode, deprived of the silt that once replenished its shores. The dam also impacted the populations of certain fish species, like the sardine, which relied on the annual flood cycle for their breeding grounds. The altered flow of the Nile disrupted their migration patterns, leading to a decline in their numbers. The Nile, the river that gave birth to Egyptian civilization, continues to flow, a silent witness to time's passage. Its legacy is etched into the soul of Egypt. The ancient Egyptians' reverence and ingenious methods inspire awe. The Nile's story reminds us of nature's power and our responsibility. Deep within the heart of Egypt, the Nile River flows. It courses through a land of ancient wonders. On an island, amidst the flowing waters, stands a testament to a bygone era, the Philae Temple. This architectural marvel, with its towering pylons and intricate carvings, has captivated travellers for centuries. The echoes of pharaohs whisper through its corridors. The grandeur of the Roman Empire left its mark. Today, the Philae Temple stands as a beacon from the past. Its beauty and history continue to inspire awe. Join us now as we embark on a journey to uncover the secrets of the Philae Temple. Philae, an island once believed to be the last place on earth to be touched by the rays of the setting sun. It was here, in this sacred space, that the ancient Egyptians built a temple. It was dedicated to Isis, the goddess of magic, motherhood and healing. The temple complex, a dazzling display of artistry and engineering, was a place of pilgrimage. People came from far and wide to seek the goddess's favour. They offered prayers and gifts. The air was thick with incense. The sound of chanting priests echoed through the halls. Philae was a sanctuary where the divine and mortal realms intertwined. The temple itself reflected the Egyptians' understanding of the cosmos. The story of Philae Temple begins not with a single pharaoh, but with many. Over centuries, from the late period to the Ptolemaic kingdom, they added their own mark to the island. Each addition was a testament to their devotion to Isis, a goddess deeply intertwined with the Egyptian belief in life, death and rebirth. The earlier structures were humble compared to the grand edifices of later years, yet they held a powerful significance. These were not merely buildings of stone, they were seen as the dwelling place of the divine. As each pharaoh ascended to power, they sought to honour Isis in grander and more elaborate ways. Massive pylons adorned with carvings depicting the pharaoh's victories and piety rose towards the heavens. At the heart of the Philae Temple complex lay the sanctuary of Isis. This was the most sacred space within the temple. It was here that the cult statue of the goddess was kept. The sanctuary was a place of profound mystery. Only the pharaoh and a select few priests were allowed to enter its hallowed halls. Here, amidst flickering oil lamps and the scent of incense, they performed daily rituals to honour Isis. The walls of the sanctuary were adorned with intricate reliefs. These images told the story of Isis and Osiris, her husband, who had been murdered by their brother Set. Every inch of the Philae temple was a testament to the skill and artistry of the ancient Egyptian builders. They used simple tools, yet they created structures of astonishing size and complexity. The walls of the temple were adorned with thousands of hieroglyphs. These intricate symbols, carved into the stone with astonishing detail, told the stories of the gods, the pharaohs, and the Egyptian people. They served as a reminder of the temple's sacred purpose and provided a glimpse into the beliefs and values of a civilization long gone. Scholars painstakingly decipher the hieroglyphs, piecing together the story of the Philae temple. Each inscription is a window into the past, offering a glimpse into the hearts and minds of the ancient Egyptians. The Ptolemaic dynasty, descended from one of Alexander the Great's generals, embraced Egypt as their own. They recognized the power of tradition, the importance of maintaining the old ways to secure their rule. The Philae temple, already a place of significant religious and cultural importance, became a focal point for their patronage. Under the Ptolemies, the temple complex underwent a period of expansion and embellishment. New structures were added, each grander than the last. The Ptolemies sought to outdo their predecessors, to leave their own indelible mark on this sacred site. The temple became a symbol not just of religious devotion, but of royal power and prestige. The graceful columns and intricate floral motifs hinted at the influence of the Hellenic world, blending seamlessly with the existing Egyptian architecture. With the arrival of the Romans, Egypt entered a new chapter in its long history. Yet the reverence for Philae temple continued. The Romans, ever pragmatic, recognized the importance of respecting local customs and beliefs. The Roman emperors, keen to legitimize their rule in Egypt, continued the tradition of honoring Isis. They funded the construction of new buildings within the temple complex. The temple, already a testament to centuries of Egyptian faith, now bore witness to the might of Rome. The Roman presence at Philae is most evident in the kiosk of Trajan. This grand structure, with its massive columns and open design, served as a ceremonial gateway to the temple. The Philae temple was more than just a place of worship for Isis. It was a microcosm of the religious syncretism that characterized Egypt during the Roman period. Here, Egyptian and Roman gods were worshipped side by side. Beliefs and practices intertwined, creating a rich and complex religious tapestry. One of the most striking examples of this religious fusion is the worship of Imhotep. Originally a mortal architect and physician during the Old Kingdom, Imhotep had been elevated to the status of a god of healing. At Philae, his cult thrived alongside that of Isis. The Philae temple, throughout its long history, served as a testament to the enduring power of faith. It was a place where cultures and beliefs intertwined, creating a unique and vibrant religious landscape. Philae temple. More than just a collection of stones, it was and remains deeply intertwined with its environment. The ancient Egyptians saw the temple, situated on its island, as a microcosm of the cosmos. The Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, played a crucial role in the temple's symbolism and function. The annual floods, though destructive, were also seen as a time of renewal. They deposited fertile silt on the surrounding land, ensuring bountiful harvests. The temple, rising above the floodwaters, symbolized the triumph of order over chaos. The island itself, known as Philae in ancient times, was considered sacred. It was believed to be the burial place of Osiris, the god of the underworld and rebirth. For centuries, the Nile River nourished Philae Temple. Its waters carried stories of countless generations. Pilgrims came, drawn to the temple's beauty and power. The Nile was integral to the temple's rituals. Priests used its water for purification. They navigated its currents in small boats. The Nile's ebb and flow mirrored life cycles. Philae Temple offered hope and solace. Time, as it often does, brought change to the Nile River and the Philae Temple. The construction of the Aswan Low Dam in the early 20th century altered the river's natural flow. The temple, once accustomed to the annual floods, now found itself partially submerged for much of the year. Recognizing the threat posed by the rising waters, UNESCO stepped in. They recognized the Philae Temple as a World Heritage Site. It was a place of outstanding universal value, a testament to human creativity and ingenuity. A daring and unprecedented rescue plan was devised. The temple would be dismantled block by numbered block and moved to higher ground. The first phase of the rescue project involved constructing a cofferdam around the island of Philae. This massive barrier, built to hold back the waters of the Nile, was a feat of engineering in itself. It had to be strong enough to withstand the pressure of millions of gallons of water, yet delicate enough to avoid damaging the very monument it was meant to protect. With the cofferdam in place, the painstaking work of dismantling the temple began. Each stone, some weighing as much as 20 tons, had to be carefully documented, numbered and removed. The stones, once separated, were transported by barge to their new home, a nearby island named Agilkia. This island, carefully chosen for its resemblance to Philae's original shape, would become the temple's new sanctuary. Agilkia, once a barren rock, was transformed into a mirror image of Philae. The temple, meticulously reassembled using the original stones, rose again in its full glory. The carvings, the columns, the sanctuaries, all were painstakingly restored, ensuring that the spirit of Philae lived on. The relocation of the Philae Temple was not merely a triumph of engineering, it was a testament to the power of international collaboration. Today, the Philae Temple stands on Agilkia Island as a beacon of resilience. The waters of the Nile, once threatening to consume it, now lap gently at its base, a constant reminder of the enduring power of human ingenuity. The ancient Egyptians were masters of symbolism, and the Philae Temple is replete with hidden meanings. One fascinating aspect is the temple's alignment with the rising sun. During the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, the sun's rays would penetrate deep into the temple's inner sanctuaries, symbolically illuminating the statue of Isis. The acoustics of the Philae Temple are another intriguing feature. The ancient architects designed the temple's halls and chambers to enhance sound. The chanting of priests, the music of sistrums and drums would have reverberated within these spaces, creating an immersive and ethereal soundscape. Even today, visitors to the Philae Temple can experience echoes of this sonic past. The Philae Temple, despite its grandeur, was never truly finished. The last pylon, intended to be the temple's crowning glory, was left incomplete. Legend has it that the workers, sensing the imminent arrival of the Romans, downed their tools and fled, leaving the pylon unfinished. Another tale speaks of a wise old stonemason who, entrusted with carving the final inscription on the pylon, had a vision. Knowing that his work would one day be submerged beneath the Nile, he chose to leave the pylon unfinished, a symbolic act of acceptance of the cyclical nature of time and fate. The unfinished pylon stands as a poignant reminder that even the grandest of human endeavours are subject to the whims of fate and the passage of time. The Philae Temple, standing on its new island home, is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. It symbolises resilience, a monument to our need to create, believe and connect with something greater. For centuries, this sacred site witnessed the ebb and flow of civilizations. Pharaohs, Ptolemies, Romans each left their mark, adding to its storied history. Once threatened by the Nile, it now stands as a beacon of hope, preserving our cultural heritage. Philae's stories about the people who built, worshipped and found meaning within its walls. It's a tale of belief, time's cycle and the human spirit overcoming adversity. The Nile, a life-giving river, snakes through the arid landscapes of North Africa. Along its banks, an extraordinary civilization blossomed thousands of years ago, ancient Egypt. This land, shrouded in mystery and legend, continues to captivate our imagination. From the towering pyramids of Giza to the enigmatic Sphinx, the remnants of ancient Egypt whisper tales of pharaohs, gods, and a civilization that thrived for millennia. These monumental structures are not mere relics of a bygone era. They stand as testaments to human ingenuity, ambition, and a deep connection with the cosmos. The ancient Egyptians believed in the eternal cycle of life and death, reflected in their elaborate burial rituals and the grandeur of their tombs. Join me now as we embark on a journey through time, exploring the rise and fall of this extraordinary civilization. Our adventure takes us from the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt to the era of powerful pharaohs who commanded vast armies and immense wealth. We'll delve into the lives of ordinary Egyptians, their beliefs, their innovations, and their enduring legacy that continues to shape our world today. Prepare to be amazed by the splendors of ancient Egypt, a land of enduring fascination and unparalleled historical significance. Before the grandeur of the pyramids and the might of the pharaohs, Egypt existed as two separate entities, Upper and Lower Egypt. These regions were distinct in their cultures, traditions, and even their gods. The fertile lands of the Nile Valley were divided, each region with its own ruler and deities. The people of Upper Egypt worshipped gods like Seth, while those in Lower Egypt revered gods such as Wadjet. This division, however, would not last forever. The desire for unity and strength was ever present, and the two regions were destined to come together. Around 3100 BC, a powerful king emerged from Upper Egypt. His name was Narmer. He was a visionary leader who saw the potential of a united Egypt. Narmer's victory over Lower Egypt marked a pivotal moment in Egyptian history. His triumph was not just a military conquest, but a symbolic act of unification. This unification under one ruler paved the way for the emergence of a unified Egyptian identity and the establishment of the dynastic rule that would characterize ancient Egypt. The merging of the two lands brought about a new era of prosperity and cultural development. Narmer's legacy is not only political, it is also artistic. His reign marked the beginning of a flourishing period for Egyptian art and culture. The Narmer Palette, a ceremonial artifact discovered in the ancient city of Hierakonpolis, depicts Narmer wearing the crowns of both Upper and Lower Egypt, symbolizing his dominion over the two lands. This artifact is a testament to his power and the significance of his rule. This artifact provides us with a glimpse into the early stages of Egyptian art and the significance of royal iconography. The intricate carvings and symbols on the palette tell a story of power, divinity, and the unification of a great civilization. With the unification complete, a new era dawned upon the land of the Nile. The once divided regions now work together, sharing resources and knowledge, leading to advancements in various fields. The first dynasty was established, marking the beginning of a remarkable journey that would span thousands of years. This period saw the consolidation of power and the establishment of traditions that would endure for millennia. The unification of Egypt laid the foundation for the flourishing civilization that would leave an indelible mark on human history. The achievements of ancient Egypt in architecture, art, and governance continue to inspire and awe the world to this day. The Old Kingdom, spanning from around 2686 to 2181 BC, is often regarded as the golden age of ancient Egypt. This era laid the foundation for the grandeur and mystique that we associate with ancient Egyptian civilization today. This period witnessed the flourishing of Egyptian culture, marked by impressive advancements in art, architecture, and governance. The pharaohs of the Old Kingdom were not just rulers, they were seen as gods on earth, and their divine status was reflected in the monumental projects they commissioned. It was during this era that the iconic pyramids enduring symbols of ancient Egypt were constructed. These structures were not merely tombs, but were also a testament to the pharaoh's power and their connection to the divine. These colossal structures, built as tombs for the pharaohs, showcase the architectural prowess and the sophisticated engineering skills of the ancient Egyptians. The precision with which these massive stones were cut and placed continues to baffle modern engineers and historians. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built by the pharaoh Khufu, is the most impressive of them all. Standing at an original height of 146.6 meters, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world. Its sheer scale and precision continue to astonish us today. The alignment of the pyramid, with the cardinal points, and its near-perfect symmetry, are feats of engineering that still inspire awe. The construction of these monumental tombs was not only a testament to the pharaoh's power, but also a reflection of the Egyptians' belief in the afterlife. The pyramids were seen as a means to ensure the pharaoh's safe journey to the afterlife, where they would continue to rule as gods. The pyramids were designed to ensure the safe passage of the pharaoh's soul into the afterlife, equipped with everything they would need for eternity. This included not only treasures and food, but also intricate spells and texts inscribed on the walls to guide them through the afterlife. The Old Kingdom wasn't just about pyramids, however. It was a period of remarkable cultural and intellectual achievements that laid the groundwork for future generations. This period saw the development of hieroglyphic writing, a complex system that combined logographic, syllabic, and alphabetic elements. This writing system was used for religious texts, official inscriptions, and monumental art, playing a crucial role in the administration and culture of ancient Egypt. The Egyptians also made significant strides in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Their understanding of the stars and the human body was advanced for their time, and many of their practices laid the foundation for future scientific discoveries. The Old Kingdom was a time of unprecedented prosperity and stability, but like all empires, its time in the sun would eventually come to an end. The Nile River, which had been the lifeblood of the civilization, also played a role in its decline. Internal strife, coupled with a weakening central authority, would usher in a period of instability known as the First Intermediate Period. This era of chaos and fragmentation marked the end of the Old Kingdom, but the legacy of its achievements would endure for millennia. The First Intermediate Period, spanning roughly from 2181 to 2055 BC, marked a significant departure from the opulence and stability of the Old Kingdom. This era was characterized by political fragmentation, social unrest, and economic decline. The once powerful centralized government of the pharaohs weakened, allowing provincial governors known as nomarchs to assert their independence. The First Intermediate Period was a time of uncertainty and upheaval. The Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, experienced irregular flooding patterns, leading to famines and social unrest. The weakening central authority resulted in increased competition for resources and power struggles between rival nomarchs. Despite the challenges, this period wasn't devoid of cultural and artistic innovation. The nomarchs, eager to assert their authority and legitimacy, commissioned elaborate tombs and temples in their respective regions. This competition led to a flourishing of regional artistic styles and a departure from the rigid artistic canons of the Old Kingdom. The first intermediate period, often viewed as a dark age in Egyptian history, was a time of significant transformation. It marked the end of the Old Kingdom's centralized rule and paved the way for the emergence of a new dynasty that would reunite Egypt and usher in another era of prosperity and power. Around 2055 BC, a new dynasty emerged from Thebes, a powerful city-state in Upper Egypt. This marked the beginning of a transformative era in Egyptian history. Mentuhotep II, a visionary leader, succeeded in reuniting Upper and Lower Egypt, bringing an end to the political fragmentation that had plagued the country for nearly a century. His leadership was instrumental in restoring the nation's unity. This reunification marked the beginning of the Middle Kingdom, a period characterized by renewed stability, expansion, and a flourishing of arts and culture. The Middle Kingdom is often considered a Renaissance period in ancient Egyptian history. Mentuhotep II's reign marked a return to strong central authority. He was not just a ruler, but a reformer who laid the foundation for future prosperity. He embarked on ambitious building projects, revitalized trade routes, and restored order throughout the land. These projects included the construction of temples, fortresses, and irrigation systems that boosted agricultural productivity. The Middle Kingdom pharaohs, learning from the mistakes of their predecessors, implemented administrative reforms to strengthen the central government and prevent future fragmentation. These reforms included the establishment of a more efficient bureaucracy and the appointment of loyal officials to key positions. The Middle Kingdom was not only a time of internal consolidation, it was also an era of expansion. Egyptian armies pushed the boundaries of the kingdom further than ever before. Egyptian influence reached southward into Nubia, a region rich in gold and other valuable resources. This expansion brought immense wealth and resources to Egypt, further solidifying its power. Trade flourished, bringing wealth and exotic goods from distant lands. Merchants traveled far and wide, establishing trade networks that connected Egypt with other great civilizations of the time. The Middle Kingdom, with its focus on stability, expansion, and administrative efficiency, laid the groundwork for the emergence of the New Kingdom, a period that would witness Egypt's transformation into a mighty empire. The achievements of the Middle Kingdom set the stage for future greatness. The pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom, through their shrewd leadership and ambitious endeavors, ensured that Egypt would rise again to reclaim its place as a dominant force in the ancient world. Their legacy is a testament to the enduring strength and resilience of the Egyptian civilization. Karnak Temple is a vast temple complex in Egypt, renowned for its immense size and historical significance. It is located on the east bank of the Nile River, which has been a lifeline for civilizations for millennia. Karnak is near the modern city of Luxor, a bustling urban centre that blends ancient history with contemporary life. This ancient site was once the city of Thebes, the capital of ancient Egypt during its New Kingdom period. The temple complex is a marvel of ancient architecture, showcasing the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the ancient Egyptians. It is a testament to the power and artistry of the pharaohs, who commissioned grand structures to honor their gods and themselves. Karnak was built and expanded over many centuries, with each pharaoh adding their own touch to the sprawling complex. It is a place of pilgrimage and worship for over 2,000 years, drawing people from all over to pay homage to the gods. The complex is a vast open-air museum, offering a unique glimpse into the religious and cultural practices of ancient Egypt. It is a treasure trove of ancient Egyptian art and architecture, with intricate carvings and monumental statues. Visitors can explore the many temples, chapels, and monuments, each with its own story and historical significance. Karnak is a window into the past, offering insights into the religious, political and social life of ancient Egypt. It is a reminder of the grandeur and sophistication of ancient Egyptian civilization, a civilization that has left an indelible mark on history. Thebes was one of the most important cities in ancient Egypt, known for its grandeur and historical significance. It was the capital of Egypt for many centuries, serving as the heart of the nation during the Middle and New Kingdoms. Thebes was a center of political, religious and economic power, influencing the entire region with its wealth and culture. The city was dedicated to the god Amun-Re, who was considered the supreme deity in the Egyptian pantheon. He was the king of the gods, often depicted with a ram's head or as a man wearing a double-plumed crown. Thebes was also home to the goddess Mut, who was revered as the mother goddess and a symbol of motherhood and fertility. She was the consort of Amun-Re, and together they were worshipped as a divine couple. Their son, Khonsu, was the moon god, associated with time and healing. Together they formed the Theban triad, a powerful trio that was central to the religious life of Thebes. They were worshipped at Karnak, one of the largest and most significant temple complexes in ancient Egypt. The temple complex at Karnak was a reflection of Thebes's importance, showcasing its architectural and artistic achievements. It was a place where the pharaohs could honor the gods, performing rituals and ceremonies to gain their favor. The pharaohs built temples and monuments at Karnak, each adding to the splendor of the complex. They wanted to show their devotion to the gods, ensuring their legacy and divine support. The temple complex grew in size and grandeur over time, with each pharaoh contributing to its expansion. It became a symbol of the power and wealth of Egypt, standing as a testament to the civilization's achievements and religious devotion. Construction at Karnak began during the Middle Kingdom. This was around 2055 to 1650 BC. However, it was during the New Kingdom that Karnak truly flourished. This period was from 1550 to 1069 BC. The New Kingdom was a time of great prosperity and power for Egypt. The pharaohs of the New Kingdom were ambitious builders. They wanted to leave their mark on Egypt. They expanded the temple complex at Karnak. They added new temples, chapels, and monuments. Each pharaoh tried to outdo his predecessor. They wanted to create the most impressive structures. The result is a complex that is both awe-inspiring and bewildering in its scale. One of the most prolific builders at Karnak was the female pharaoh Hatshepsut. She ruled Egypt from 1478 to 1458 BC. Hatshepsut was a powerful and ambitious ruler. She commissioned many impressive building projects at Karnak. Hatshepsut's most famous contribution to Karnak is her Red Chapel. This is a small but perfectly proportioned shrine. It's made of red quartzite. The Red Chapel was once adorned with brilliant reliefs. It is a testament to Hatshepsut's artistry and her devotion to the gods. Hatshepsut also erected two massive obelisks at Karnak. These towering monuments were once the tallest structures in the world. They are a symbol of Hatshepsut's power and ambition. The Great Hypostyle Hall is one of the most impressive structures at Karnak. This architectural marvel stands as a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of ancient Egyptian builders. It is a massive hall supported by 134 columns, each one towering over visitors and creating a forest of stone that stretches towards the sky. The hall covers an area of 5,000 square meters, making it one of the largest religious spaces ever constructed in the ancient world. It is big enough to hold 10 cathedrals, a fact that underscores its immense scale and the grandeur of its design. The hypostyle hall was built by the pharaoh Seti I, who initiated its construction as part of his grand vision for the Karnak temple complex. He ruled Egypt from 1290 to 1279 BC, a period marked by significant architectural and cultural achievements. Seti I's son, Ramesses II, completed the hall, continuing his father's legacy and adding his own touches to the monumental structure. The hall is a masterpiece of engineering and artistry, showcasing the advanced techniques and artistic skills of ancient Egyptian craftsmen. The columns are decorated with intricate carvings, depicting scenes of gods, pharaohs, and religious rituals that tell the story of ancient Egypt. The great hypostyle hall was used for religious ceremonies, serving as a sacred space where priests conducted rituals and offerings to the gods. It was a place where the pharaoh could commune with the gods, reinforcing his divine right to rule and his connection to the divine. The hall is a testament to the power and grandeur of the new kingdom, reflecting the might and religious devotion of the pharaohs who built it. Section 6. The Temple's Later Years. The New Kingdom came to an end around 1069 BC. Egypt entered a period of decline. The temple complex at Karnak was still used for religious purposes. However, it was no longer expanded or embellished. In later centuries, Karnak was occupied by the Romans. They added their own touches to the complex. They built a temple to the god Jupiter. The Romans also converted some of the existing temples into churches. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Karnak was abandoned. It fell into ruin. The desert sands slowly buried the temple complex. Rediscovering a lost world. For centuries, Karnak lay forgotten. The local people knew of its existence. However, the outside world had no idea of its scale or grandeur. In the 18th century, European explorers began to rediscover the wonders of ancient Egypt. In 1798, Napoleon Bonaparte launched his expedition to Egypt. He brought with him a team of scholars and scientists. They were tasked with documenting the ancient monuments of Egypt. The team produced detailed drawings and descriptions of Karnak. These publications helped to spark a wave of interest in ancient Egypt. In the 19th century, archaeologists began to excavate Karnak in earnest. They uncovered the temple complex. Karnak, a World Heritage Site. Today, Karnak is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Egypt. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The complex is visited by millions of people every year. Karnak is an important site for archaeologists and historians. It is a rich source of information about ancient Egyptian culture and religion. Archaeologists are still excavating Karnak. They're making new discoveries all the time. The Karnak temple complex is a timeless wonder. It is a testament to the ingenuity, artistry, and devotion of the ancient Egyptians. Karnak is a place of pilgrimage, worship, and wonder for over 2,000 years. It continues to inspire us today. As the sun sets over Karnak, it casts long shadows over the ancient stones. It is a reminder of the passage of time. Karnak is a place where the past feels very much alive. It is a place where we can connect with the ancient world. Ancient Egypt, a land of majestic pyramids and colossal temples, a civilization shrouded in mystery and wonder. For centuries, the secrets of the ancient Egyptians lay dormant, locked away in their intricate scripts. Like whispers from the past, these scripts tantalized explorers and scholars alike. They held the key to understanding a civilization that had vanished millennia ago. The sands of time had buried the stories, beliefs and knowledge of the ancient Egyptians, but the discovery of these scripts sparked a quest for knowledge. It was a quest to decipher the symbols and unlock the secrets of this ancient world. The journey promised to be both challenging and rewarding. The allure of ancient Egypt lies not only in its monumental architecture, it also lies in the intricate system of writing that adorned its walls. These inscriptions, a complex tapestry of symbols and figures, were not mere decorations. They were a sophisticated system of communication, a system that evolved over centuries, reflecting the changing needs of the Egyptian civilization. The study of ancient Egyptian scripts has illuminated our understanding of this remarkable civilization. It has brought us closer to the lives of the pharaohs, priests, and ordinary people who lived along the banks of the Nile. Their stories, once lost to time, are now being pieced together. At the heart of ancient Egyptian writing lay three principal scripts: hieroglyphs, hieratic and demotic. Each script served a distinct purpose, reflecting the diverse needs of Egyptian society. Understanding these scripts is crucial to unlocking the mysteries of ancient Egyptian civilization. Hieroglyphs, meaning sacred carvings, were the most formal and elaborate script. These intricate symbols, often resembling animals, plants, or everyday objects, represented words, sounds, or concepts. Hieroglyphs adorned the walls of temples and tombs. They served as a visual testament to the power of the pharaohs and the glory of the gods. For everyday use, the Egyptians developed a cursive script known as hieratic. Hieratic, meaning priestly, was a simplified and more fluid form of hieroglyphs. It was used by scribes for administrative documents, letters, and literary texts. Hieratic played a vital role in the day-to-day functioning of the Egyptian state. As time progressed, a new script emerged called demotic. Demotic, meaning popular, was even more cursive and abstract than hieratic. It became the dominant script during the late period of ancient Egypt. Demotic appeared on contracts, legal documents, and even on pieces of pottery. It offered a glimpse into the lives of ordinary Egyptians. The act of writing in ancient Egypt was a sacred and skilled craft. Scribes, highly respected members of society, were entrusted with the task of preserving knowledge and recording history. They approached their work with meticulous care, using a variety of materials and tools. Papyrus, a paper-like material made from the papyrus plant, was the primary writing surface. The Egyptians developed a complex process for harvesting, processing, and assembling papyrus sheets into scrolls. These scrolls could be of varying lengths. Some were short, others stretched for meters, containing vast amounts of information. The scribe's toolkit consisted of a palette, 2 reed brushes, and a pot of water. The palette, usually made of wood or stone, held 2 depressions for black and red ink. Black ink, made from soot or charcoal mixed with gum, was used for the main body of the text. Red ink, derived from ochre or red lead, was used for headings, highlights, and special symbols. Writing on papyrus required a steady hand and a keen eye for detail. Scribes used the 2 reed brushes with varying thicknesses to create different stroke widths. The brushes were dipped in water and then into the ink, carefully controlling the flow of ink onto the papyrus. For centuries, the secrets of ancient Egyptian scripts remained hidden. Scholars could only marvel at the beauty of the hieroglyphs without understanding their meaning. Then in 1799, a discovery revolutionized the study of ancient Egypt: the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone, a large slab of black granite, was unearthed by French soldiers in the Egyptian port city of Rosetta. It contained the same text inscribed in 3 different scripts: hieroglyphs, demotic, and ancient Greek. This trilingual inscription proved to be the key to deciphering the ancient Egyptian language. The discovery of the Rosetta Stone ignited a wave of excitement among scholars worldwide. Here, at last, was a tool that could unlock the secrets of the hieroglyphs. The ancient Greek inscription, a language well known to scholars, provided a translation of the Egyptian texts. The process of deciphering the hieroglyphs was long and arduous. Scholars painstakingly compared the three scripts, looking for patterns and correspondences. They realized that certain hieroglyphs enclosed in ovals, known as cartouches, represented the names of pharaohs. This breakthrough paved the way for further discoveries. The Egyptian language, like all languages, was not static. It evolved over millennia, adapting to changing social and cultural influences. Understanding this linguistic evolution is crucial to grasping the nuances of ancient Egyptian texts. The earliest known stage of the Egyptian language is Old Egyptian, spoken from the early dynastic period to the end of the Old Kingdom. Old Egyptian laid the foundation for later stages of the language. It is characterized by its complex grammar and distinctive vocabulary. As time progressed, Old Egyptian gave way to Middle Egyptian, spoken during the Middle Kingdom and Second Intermediate period. Middle Egyptian exhibited some grammatical simplifications compared to its predecessor. It became the language of classical literature and religious texts. During the New Kingdom, Late Egyptian emerged as the dominant language. Late Egyptian witnessed further grammatical changes and saw the introduction of new words. It was the language of administration, diplomacy, and everyday life. The final stage of the Egyptian language was Coptic, which emerged in the Roman period. Coptic, written using the Greek alphabet, incorporated elements of Greek vocabulary. It was primarily used by the Coptic Christian community and eventually faded out as Arabic became the dominant language of Egypt. In the hierarchy of ancient Egyptian society, scribes held a position of great respect and influence. They were the guardians of knowledge, responsible for preserving and transmitting information across generations. Their skills were essential to the functioning of the Egyptian state. Becoming a scribe was a long and arduous process. Boys from elite families began their training at a young age. They spent years memorizing hieroglyphs, mastering grammar and learning the intricacies of Egyptian literature. Scribal schools were demanding environments. Discipline was strict. Students who excelled were rewarded with prestigious positions in the royal court or temples. The role of scribes extended far beyond simply writing. They served as administrators, accountants, priests, and even architects. Their knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering was crucial for building temples, surveying land, and managing complex irrigation systems. Scribes were not merely copyists. They were also creative thinkers and storytellers. They composed hymns to the gods, love poems, and tales of adventure. Their works provide invaluable insights into the beliefs, values, and daily lives of the ancient Egyptians. The legacy of ancient Egyptian scripts is profound and enduring. The deciphering of hieroglyphs and the study of the Egyptian language have revolutionized our understanding of this ancient civilization. We can now read the words of pharaohs, explore the beliefs of priests, and delve into the lives of ordinary people. The inscriptions on temple walls and tomb paintings are no longer silent witnesses to a bygone era. They speak to us across millennia, revealing the hopes, dreams, and fears of a civilization that flourished along the banks of the Nile. We can now appreciate the artistry of their writing, the complexity of their language, and the depth of their knowledge. The study of ancient Egyptian scripts is an ongoing endeavor. New discoveries are constantly being made, shedding further light on this fascinating civilization. Each inscription deciphered, each text translated, brings us one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of ancient Egypt.